Welcome back to day number 19 of the Fit Chick Project. I cannot wait for you guys to learn from 2014's 7th Fittest Lady on Earth and my good friend, Lauren Brooks. This girl has dramatically transformed her relationship with the food and gym since being a pro CrossFit athlete. She's gone from your typical go hard or go home mindset to a more freeing mindset of I'll go hard when I feel like going hard. She's stopped obsessing over following the plan with food and workouts and started really finding more happiness with not having a plan at all. Through these changes, she's been able to ditch her binge eating behaviors and create a relationship with food that is the best that it's ever been. I personally resonated with her message so much, and I'm just so excited for you guys to hear it too. I cannot wait for you guys to dive in. Here are some of my favorite topics that we discussed. Number one, why being so critical of herself with working hard enough, eating clean enough, being fast enough was detrimental to her body goals. Number two, how she stays fit by doing things that she wants to do rather than has to do. Number three, how she beat her binge eating behavior. Number four, how she turns a bad day into a good day. Number five, how she stopped counting macros and started to eat based off feel. Number six, her biggest piece of advice to women wanting to look fit without having to spend hours in the gym or the kitchen. So check her out, check this video out, and then be sure to connect with her on Instagram using the links below. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm just checking out your website. It's so pretty, dude.
Oh, thank you. I don't really use it much anymore. I mean, I need to pick it back up. I just kind of put all this work into it and then kind of switched gears big time, but I like it. I pay to keep it running, so I should use it.
What have you switched to?
I'm in direct sales now. Long story short, I sold my gym in 2017, right around the time I got divorced, actually. I was totally detached. I didn't want to be there anymore. And I actually didn't want to have it for years. I was like over it. I was just tired dealing with the people. And it's so much of it's like a fucking sorority fraternity. Like people are just, I don't enjoy people that much, to be honest. I really enjoy certain people, but the majority of people, especially when I did really good in CrossFit, it's like they weren't my friends anymore. They were groupies and I couldn't stand it. I just wanted real relationships with people. So couldn't wait to sell it. The way that it happened was crazy. I got divorced. We had an investor that was like, we're just going to break it up and sell the pieces. And I was like, I don't care, whatever we got to do. And then one of my clients who I had been personal training, a really nice older lady that had money, swooped in and bought it. So we didn't make a dime, but somebody took it over. So it's still open. But I was kind of doing all the wellness stuff after that. And I still love wellness a lot, but it's exhausting, like trying to support other people's goals and keep them up here where you are when they don't always want it. I got tired of it.
Can't want it for them.
You can't want it for them. And a lot of coaching and internet coaching, programming, nutrition coaching, wellness coaching, it's like I qualify people big time now. And that means I don't have a ton of clients in that arena, but I don't take clients unless they pay ahead of time in bulk. And unless they're like, if they're participating, then if you're not going to work with me, then I'm not going to work for you. So, you know, it is what it is though. That business is a rough business and you have to really love it to be in it.
Like wellness coaching, or what do you mean? Which one?
Anything, fitness, diet, programming, any of that big blanket, like, you know, but to answer your question, I was dealing with a lot of stress and I've always had a lot of hair, but it was falling out and my thyroid had gone really crazy. And my boyfriend at the time, who I'm married to now, his sister was doing this direct sales business called Monate. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's awesome. A lot of people haven't. It's only been around 5 or 6 years, but it's a vegan natural hair company, and they help people that obviously need like repair of their hair because they bleach or they have damage, but they also helps people regrow their hair, which that was what got me, because in the beginning for the whole first year I was just a user. I wasn't selling it.
Okay.
And my boyfriend's sister is in the corporate world, so I was like, what the hell is she doing selling this product? She has a 6-figure job.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's an account executive. So I was like, why are you selling for this company? And she's like, because I've analyzed it and it's a really good company. And I'm like, really? Tell me more. And she's like, well, they're debt free. That she started rattling off all of the things she had researched. And so she kind of did all the work for me. I like the direct sales model because it offers a ton of freedom. Like I have a customer base and I have girls that sell also, and we do video like this. I do use my social media, and I really genuinely feel like the product is so solid that it helps people. And I had been approached by a million different companies to sell powders and pills, and I was like, no, there's so many of those out there. What makes yours better? This is just hair stuff. Like everybody washes their damn hair and everybody wants better hair. So it was easy. It worked for me. And I built a pretty decent customer base pretty quickly. So that's like my main source of income now. And it's the best because I can do whatever the hell I want.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's
like
awesome.
I could be in Maui right now working, and I'm obviously with my 2 kids home now.
Yeah.
What the hell would I be doing if I had a regular job?
Yeah. So that's cool.
That's kind of the long answer, but that covers the majority of the last 3 years of my life. So.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I'm stoked that you found something that you love and it gives you the freedom. I've been, scoping out your Instagram, and I think that I think we've been on a very similar path as far as like, transitioning from sort of like competition to like, instead of like constantly striving and grinding, to just like really being, and being okay with that. Like I noticed that you quote some Abraham Hicks stuff, and I listen to those guys all the time.
Yeah, she was a really big catalyst I found her about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started listening to her stuff. I was actually reading, do you know who Gabrielle Bernstein is?
No, okay, but it sounds familiar.
She's a spirit junkie. That's like her thing. And I have no idea how I even found her, but I bought her book and I was reading her book, and I wasn't really getting down with her book. Her book was like boring, but she talked about Abraham. So for some reason, when I read that name and I read some of the quotes she had in the book, I like tossed the book and I got on YouTube and I started listening to Abraham Hicks stuff, and it made so much sense to me. Like, I was in a relationship at the time that was miserable, and it was my second marriage, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm going to be divorced again? Oh my God. Like, how is this possible? But I was really so unhappy. And the more I listened to her stuff, the more I became okay with just working on me and letting the situation just be. And I just came to this place where I knew I wasn't supposed to be with him anymore, and we were supposed to, and I met Dan, and it was like a freight train hit me. It was like the one person that really I was supposed to be with, that understood me, was in front of me. And I didn't feel guilty anymore about changing my life. I didn't feel guilty about leaving the gym. I didn't feel guilty about saying goodbye to CrossFit. I mean, I love CrossFit. I still love the dynamics and the workouts, but you're in this whole different world when you're a CrossFit competitor, and you don't realize how much life there is out there.
No kidding, dude. You really don't realize it. It's like you're literally in this like little tiny box.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the thing is, well, the crazy thing is that some people live in that box their entire life.
I know.
Like, it's my dad does, I mean, like not like that, but I mean, it's just, you know, I'm just, not everybody, you don't have to be a CrossFitter to be living in the box, but just, man, if you just let go and ease up, you know, on all this striving and driving and feeling like you're not good enough and your workouts aren't good enough, and just, it's like, man, you're missing a whole lot.
Yeah, mostly just the joy that's around you all the time.
All the
Like,
time.
I
All
had
the
gotten
time.
so miserable in my life and I was so critical of myself
Hmm.
that I missed so many good things. Like, I have like blackout periods from that phase of my life where I don't even remember things because I was so focused on CrossFit in the gym and my
Yeah.
records and competition. I was just really wrapped up in the world, and it was fun and it gave me a lot and I value
Yeah.
it. But it was hard though. I mean, this is a life and this is you. And when you pull away, a lot of times people have the hardest time. They're
For
like,
sure. Because your whole
um,
life is wrapped in it. Your friends, everything.
well, and you like certain things like Talena, I felt like had a really hard time leaving the competitive world because she just loved it.
Hmm.
Whereas I didn't love it that much. To me, it was pain. I had
Hmm.
so much physical pain that competition and training hard, my brain was just registering pain, pain, pain. And she just, it was who she was for a long time. I mean, she wasn't pregnant and didn't have a man, and CrossFit and fitness, that whole life was who she was.
Hmm.
And when she left the sport, she went and did other things like Spartan races and the paddle boarding, and she still loves being competitive. See,
Hmm.
we are very different. I laughed when I got that text from you because we couldn't be more opposite. I mean, we're very close
Yeah.
friends.
I think I'm more on your end right now. So.
Yeah, I just like, I don't, yes, I do have that side of me that really feels great when I work out. Like, the benefits of working out are what they are for
Uh-huh.
everybody. Like, you feel good, it gives you endorphins. I need to move because I carry a lot of dense muscle. If I am static, I get achy and tight. And Talena is more limber.
Hmm.
Like, Talena and
Yeah.
I have had like long debates about yoga, and Talena is like, doesn't believe in yoga, and I'm like, that's because you're flexible, bitch. That's
Yeah.
because you're an ex-gymnast and you're extremely
Oh
limber,
yeah. Yeah.
like a bull in a china shop. I have to stretch or I fall apart. So
Yeah.
she and I have, like, even though she's a PT, I still like to tell her what's up sometimes, because I'm like, nope, people need yoga. Nope, people need stretching. Because she has this mentality of sometimes yoga is the hypermobility. And I'm
Right.
like, very small percentage of people are hypermobile like you know? So I got really into yoga and like Bikram. I love Bikram.
Okay.
Um, and just like a flow, like a vinyasa flow, just something that like stretches you from every angle. And so my workout time is split between just like randomly doing things. Like, I don't have a program. I don't even follow workouts. I just go downstairs and I'm like, what feels good today? What do I want to
Uh-huh.
do?
Yeah.
Because if I don't want to
Yeah.
do it, I'm not going to work out.
Uh, uh, Lauren, girl, I am
I'm not
so
doing it.
on this. I'm so on the same level as you right now. But here's the thing, okay? So what I've been doing is, so first off, like, yeah, I just only do shit that I want to do. Okay. But the thing is, I know how important it is for me to, like, I love, you know, we all do, right? We all like to look fit and lean and all that. And so I don't make it a chore. I like train myself to want to do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, oh, how good does it feel when, you know, when I feel light and flexible and full of energy. But I only work out from a place of feeling good. I don't care about, I don't say I need to work out for this long or this intensity. I don't go hard like ever anymore, because
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I place that on me, the whole thing's a
Mm-hmm.
chore. It's a chore.
Right.
It's a
Yep.
burden.
And then you want to throw your hands in the air. And I don't play that way anymore either.
Hey girl, real quick, have you seen my new Fit Chic clothing line? Oh my God, dude, it is so cute and there's something for everyone. There's muscle tanks, there's crop tops, there's hoodies, there's trucker hats, and way more coming. Now, the term Fit Chic is not at all about your physical appearance, but rather about the character and the soul behind the name. Fit chicks are proud. They take pride in what they do and who they are in and out of the gym. Fitness is a way of life for us. It is who we are. And we respect the discipline and the work ethic that every fit chick embodies. We love fitness not because of the physical body it creates, but rather the feeling and the experiences that being fit gives us. If this resonates with you, be sure to check out all of our clothing designs at shopfitchick.com. As of now, all orders are going to be done pre-sale only, and the designs will change with every new batch. So if you find a style that you really, really like, buy it up, because who knows if it'll ever come back. All right, let's get back to the show.
And by the way, I am 6 months behind Helena. So I'm 3 months pregnant.
Oh, are you? Oh, cool.
Yes.
Congrats.
Which I haven't announced yet. Like, I don't care
Okay.
if people know, but we were obviously
Okay.
just waiting till that 12-week mark so that we were safe.
Right.
You don't want to,
Right.
you don't want
Yeah.
to
All that.
tell the world and
Mhm.
then have to tell everybody you've had it. So I'm like, we'll just wait. We'll find out the gender this week, and
Cool.
we'll probably do a little announcement. But so my body is changing, and I'm trying to embrace that. But not to mention, like, disregard the pregnancy. My body's been changing forever. It's always changing, and that's something that I think CrossFit athletes don't really grasp, is that it doesn't have to be a negative thing, but your body is going to constantly be changing. And just because you did this last month doesn't mean that this month that you are going to continue to get better.
Mhm.
You get to a point in your training where you're probably going to plateau. Some things might improve and some things might get worse.
Mhm.
You got to love it to stay in it. And if you
Yeah.
don't love it, then get out and find your place. Right. So when I work out now, I kind of just move with, and I don't put the stress either. If I feel good in the moment and I want to go hard, then I want to.
Yes.
So then I
so much
push
more
myself.
fun.
Yeah. Then I get excited about it and I push myself. And then when I want to slow down a little bit, because right now I kind of have to, then I do. And like, I haven't worked out. I don't think I stretched last night because I was just like, okay, don't be retarded, stretch. But I think it's been 3 days since I've worked out. I'm going to work out today because I feel like I want to, but I don't put that 4 to 5 day with a recovery. Like, that is not even part of my existence anymore. I
think, like, the thing is with that, like, because I am so on the same page as you, and what I noticed is that this whole entire time, like the past 10 years, yeah, I like moving and being fit, but I thought I loved it, but that was not love, like, because now I really love it, like it was just disguised as, oh, I love to go hard. I love to work out hard, but I was just lying to myself because I didn't know I didn't know what it was to not go hard, and that it was okay to not go hard.
Yeah.
So I
no,
feel
I
like
get
people don't even know that they can not go hard and still look fit.
When did you start CrossFitting? What year?
Like 2009 or something like that.
Yeah, same. Okay, so we're 10 years in, and when I started, it was the days of kill yourself, right? It didn't matter. Kill yourself. Get the workout done.
Yeah.
Right. But that was huge then, because people didn't really, like, there was no
strategy.
ROM-WOD. There was no ROM-WOD. There was no mobility WOD. It was all just CrossFit, right? We were all just figuring it out. And paleo and sectionals. And I started CrossFit after I had my second baby. Okay, so this is kind of how I got into CrossFit, and what led me to where I was I didn't get to have a competitive college career. I was a volleyball player. I played volleyball for a really good high school here, and we went to states twice, and then I played club, and I was really good. They switched my position though. I was an outside hitter, but because I'm like 5'7", they made me a libero. So I was training this new position, and I was visiting colleges, and I was really excited about my future, but I had this boyfriend, and he was a loser. I was pretty much dating him to piss my parents off. And I had a lot of issues at the time, a lot of daddy issues. And this guy was toxic. And we had kind of broken up before I was supposed to go away to school. And I found out I was pregnant. And it was really hard. Like, everybody close to me was like my parents, and I won't give specifics because if they ever watch this or hear this, they would die. One of my parents was like, okay, well, we'll take care of it. Right. Like an abortion. And I couldn't do it. And I don't shame people for doing it. I have no opinion about other people's choices, but mine, I couldn't do it.
Mhm.
And my mom, who's a wonderful woman, was like, you can still go to college. Why don't you just give this baby? Why don't you get redshirted, like redshirted with a pregnancy, and give this baby up to a Christian adoption agency? And I was like, what the fuck? You want me to grow it, give birth to it, and then be like, here? And the thing was, at the time, I was totally capable of supporting the child. I had a job. I had the ability to move out and get my own place. And so I did. Fast forward, that relationship did not work out. He was very abusive. That was a very traumatic period of my life. I had the baby and I married him because I thought that's what we were supposed to do at 19. And I got out of the relationship, but it was horrific. Then I met my daughter's father, married him quickly, and had a baby because I was like, yay, finally someone that isn't physically abusive. But he wasn't right. We didn't love each other. It was like he had all the characteristics of the guy I was supposed to be with. He accepted me and my son, which I was worried about at 20 years old. I'm like, who's going to love me? I have a baby, which is the dumbest thing ever. But that's the way you think at 20. And he had a good job, which is something my first husband, like, he didn't want to work, and he wasn't physically abusive. So I was like, fuck, Prince Charming's here. Let's have a baby and spend our lives together. Well, that's who I ended up opening the gym with. But when I started CrossFit, I had just had my daughter. And so I had all of these like has-been feelings about not being able to go to college and play my sport. Like, I've always been an athlete. I've been an athlete since I was a child. And I didn't know who I was being a mom. I mean, I loved my kids, but I was just like, I wanted to be an athlete so bad. So I found CrossFit, started going to a gym here. And that was back when, like, you remember, whatever area you started CrossFit in, there was probably like one CrossFit. Like, there weren't 30 on every block. You had one option in your town, unless you were driving to the next, town. And this particular gym, I don't want to say bad things about them, but the owner wasn't very friendly, and I was just there to see what it was all about. But I fell in love with the competitive side of it, but nobody really ever taught me technique. Like, it was like a 2-hour intro class on how to do a hang power clean with a barbell. And I was like, I remember not even being able to hang on to the barbell for very long. Couldn't do one pull up. I mean, I was 6-8 weeks post baby. So I'd just been released. I didn't work out through my pregnancy. So you have this like young, capable body, but like not fit at all at the time. And I started doing it, and I started falling in love with the feeling that I could accomplish something of my own. And it was like therapy, man. I had a lot of PTSD from that first relationship, a lot of trauma. And CrossFit helped me work through that, and it helped me get back my sense of confidence. So I was married to it for that reason, but it also fulfilled my need to want to be competitive. Right. But in the midst of all that, nobody said, slow down, mobilize, slow down, do accessory work, slow down, go do yoga. So
but would you have even done it? Like, honestly?
No, I would have never done it. But
exactly.
It wasn't mentioned either. Like, nobody sat me down and was like, listen, if you want this to be a long-term thing, you're going to need to take care of yourself. And
that doesn't mean anything, though. Like,
running lifting cycles back to back to back to back to back is not
right. Harder, better.
So I did. I got so hooked on the strength part because I was always strong. I'm naturally a strong girl. So because that part of it made me feel good, I focused a lot of attention on it, and didn't really work on gymnastics because I weighed. I think I weighed when I started CrossFitting like around 160. That was kind of like my normal high school body weight, which is a lot, but I was still kind of like a size 8. Like, I was not a big girl, but I was heavy. So gymnastics were not fun. I was like, fuck pull-ups. That sucks. I'm heavy. Let's go weightlift. So not only did I do my body a complete disservice, but it took me 4 years to go to the games because I didn't work on everything.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with the injuries that I got, and a lot to do with the reason why I'm not just showing up at a CrossFit gym and doing a class, because I physically can't.
Oh, because of injuries and stuff.
Yeah, I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I have to listen to my body every day, and every
Mm-hmm.
day it's different. So have you incurred injuries over the years, like some chronic stuff?
No, actually, when I did start to get hurt a lot was when I was doing bodybuilding. Like I did bodybuilding because it was like just the same movement over and
Yeah.
over. So like my joints got super stiff and yeah. But yeah, so what is a workout? What would you do for a workout now? Do you work out at home and
Well, we're all being forced to right now. I can't wait to
yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna be like the first person at the gym, like, yo,
Oh,
I'm back.
really?
Ain't worried. Yeah, no, I'm over it. I'm over all this.
I'm not. I'm gonna stay home. I'm not going to the gym. Yeah.
I am just of this mindset where if it's gonna kill me, it's gonna kill me. I don't know. I know there's a lot of difference of opinion on that. And my husband's actually a paramedic. He's a firefighter paramedic. So we know a lot about what's going on because they get all the new protocols constantly.
Oh, okay.
So any of the new medical information, the first people to know are the medical professionals because they have to know. So but in our area of Florida, there aren't that many cases. We're kind of in the sticks.
Oh.
So I don't know where are you at?
Dude, it's hot here. It's a hot
place. Where are you?
I'm in the mountains, but like in the ski resorts. All the ski resorts are shut down, but like
Is that where you're at?
Yeah. And so there's Yeah.
You're in
like Vail, Colorado area. There's like there's like 300 cases in our town.
Wow. So we only have where he works, the city where he works, there are only two confirmed cases, and they're both back home and fine. Mm-hmm. So it's different when you're in an area where it's rampant. It definitely is. We're in Fort Myers. Telena's actually lives in the city that my husband works in. But in Fort Myers, I don't even know how many confirmed cases there are, but it's not near as bad as some other areas.
Yeah. I'm not that afraid of it though. Like it doesn't bother me, but
I'm not. I'm a healthy person. Like the funny thing about this whole virus is I developed like a little bit of germophobia when I was a kid, like just a little bit. I'm not a psycho, but I'm very conscious all the time of touching things and my interactions with people, right? Like I don't drink after strangers. I don't, like my husband would be like, yeah, try my drink. And I would be like, that is fucking gross. Like throw that thing away. I'm not drinking. Like I'm much more conscious of that. I always have been. Like I'm into natural stuff. So I have this glass bottle with like all the antibacterial oils. And everywhere I go, my hands, the shopping cart, my steering wheel, my phone, anything that I'm touching gets sprayed down. But I've always been that way because people are gross and there are lots of weird things all over the place. So for me, nothing's changed. I haven't been wearing a mask, and I know everyone has an opinion about that. But I haven't been going anywhere either. Grocery store, and that's it. Like we haven't gone anywhere. I have to go pick up my kids from their dads, but we've been super isolated. But as far as working out, so currently on a normal week for me, I have a membership at a yoga studio. Okay. They do Bikram yoga, which I had planned to do through my entire pregnancy. Bikram was a practice that saved me when I had many injuries. It's a hot room. Even if you've heard of Bikram.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I
26 postures. It's an hour and a half. It's kind of brutal. I mean, it's not like if you take a new yoga person to Bikram, they'll hate you. Yeah. But it's so valuable because it's not only the detoxification portion of it, but the balance, the stability, the positioning, the hip opening. I mean, how it targets the spine in both directions. So even though I kind of hated Bikram, it got me through a lot of my back injury stuff. Okay. So I try to do it once a week. Now, I haven't found a way to do it at home. Like you can do the postures, but there's no way to recreate that like hot room.
I saw you do it in your shower.
I tried. but I'm like highly allergic to some soap. And when I run my shower in my bathroom, I start having sneeze fits.
Yeah.
So I'm in there like, just like, fuck this.
It's not relaxing.
I'm not doing this again. So I've been doing the postures, but not. So I like to do a mixture of yoga. It's really just I'm kind of multiple personalities. So explaining my exercise schedule is like way too much information. It's Bikram. It's gentle yoga. It's flow. Some weeks I try to do at least one yoga class a week, but my actual workouts, whether I go to the gym or I'm home, I start with some type of dynamic stretching, whether it's yoga poses or just me feeling my body out. As athletes, we become really in tune with what's going on. That's one. And it's a blessing and a curse, right? I think sometimes it really gives us insight to know what we should be doing, but it also becomes kind of annoying because like we could just be sitting watching TV and running through the scans of what's going on with our, man, my left ankle really needs to be mobilized. I should probably be stretching my wrists more. Gosh, my back is killing me. Like,
yeah, but I feel like I just ignored it all. Like I feel it, but I'm just like, I'm just going to stuff that down.
That's amazing though. I can't.
Oh yeah. I just power through it.
So that was another thing is I'm hyper aware. So I'll go through some type of moving stretches and I like to work on lower body stuff. I do. I balance, but like lower body's kind of my favorite. So I'll try to target, some type of squatting, hamstring work. I do a lot of like RDLs. I don't do a lot of kipping or butterfly pull-ups anymore. I do a lot of strict pull-ups. Because when it comes to the strength for your upper body, you're still getting what you need as long as you're mobilizing. I felt like kipping and butterfly pull-ups, they make me sore because I don't do them a whole lot, but I always like my old bicep tendon injury would flare back up and like I basically do what serves me. And you have to kind of know what's going to serve you that day in order to select what you do. Right. If I eat badly, I still follow, like 2 days ago, not yesterday, but the day before, we had like a shit show of desserts because my in-laws were here and I was like eating donuts, things I never eat. And so I'm like, you know what? I think I need a good sweat. I'm just going to move for 30 minutes. I'm going to jog. I'm going to bike. I'm going to do a couple burpees and then I'm going to do some single unders. And I'm going to do that for 30 minutes. That's kind of my plan for today. I'm going to get good and sweaty and then I'm going to do some static stretching and that will be my whole workout for the day.
Okay.
Now things really change when you get pregnant. They really change. I have had a hell of a time with morning sickness. It's gotten better in the last week, thank God, but I'm kind of almost in my second trimester. So that's when it clears up. It was bad. I mean, there were days I didn't get out of bed and psychologically that's really hard. Like for someone that needs to be productive and needs to be moving around, that's really hard. But another thing that I learned when I quit competing and started, I call it intuitive movement. That's kind of my
that's a great word because you're very intuitive, with what you want to do, what your body needs. Okay.
Yep. And it doesn't, sometimes it's what my mind needs too, sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, and that's where I want to go with this actually. So
sometimes it's just the intelligent decision of, what sounds good to me right now. It's kind of like a similar premise to diet. Not that you should, if donuts sound good, you should eat a box of them. But if something sounds good to you, it probably means you need it. So even if white potatoes aren't on the menu, but you're like really craving some white potatoes.
Exactly.
I'm that way with working out. Psychologically, I'm kind of moody about it. And what I need psychologically comes before physical because I've learned to believe that the mindset is here, then the menu, and then the movement.
Yep.
So it's not all about the movement for me anymore.
No, well, I mean, because it just becomes a chore and you hate doing it. And like, it's just, you may as well set yourself up to enjoy doing whatever you're doing and feeling out what your body needs and being okay, just being okay with not pushing so hard. Like, I mean, this goes for anybody. It doesn't go for just athletes. Like I have just so many clients that are just like, wow, I didn't realize like I didn't have to go that hard in workouts. Like there's this idea that when you say workout, it has to be like hard and you got to breathe hard. And like, no, it doesn't. Like, you can just move for fun. And when you enjoy it, you're going to naturally push the body. The body will go as hard as it wants to go. And that's a perfect amount, I think. And so,
Yeah.
I'm curious, couple things. So first off, because when you talk about yoga, like I do something similar, I do like a lot of energy work. And the reason why I do it, and I do like a lot of like meditation, but it's really like mindset training. The reason why I do it is because it brings me a sense of peace. It trains me to feel more at peace and joyful all the time. And as a result, when I feel that peace, I eat better. Like no more am I being controlled by food. And so do you recognize that same thing? Do you notice the correlation when you do yoga and with how that relates to your relationship with food?
100%. I was actually just telling a good friend of mine the other day. She was a client, but she's like one of those women that really just has these internal battles. And we were just chatting, and she texted me and was like, I don't know why I get on these hot and then I fall off. And I said, because the mind that appreciates the body does the things to show appreciation. If you're up here bashing yourself all the time and you're not in a good place, your actions are going to follow. So I feel like when the mind is uneasy and you're not at peace and you're not in alignment, you're not going to serve yourself with good things. You're going to serve yourself with gossip. Garbage is just going to surround you, not only in your thoughts and your words, in your food, in your practices. And we all get in those places. And if we didn't get in those places, we wouldn't know how good it felt to be in the other place.
Right.
So sometimes I feel like, okay, Lauren, I'm in that place. Lay your ass back down, do a meditation, get in a good place. Tell yourself good things and then go on about your day. Because if you go on about your day right now, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a mess. So yeah, I really value that. It's difficult to teach that to people unless they've had an experience of some type of enlightenment. And you can't force those experiences on people. I share a lot of Abraham Hicks like videos and meditations on my Facebook business page because it's not a page I've really cultivated. It's just kind of there. And if people think it's weird, they think it's weird, but I don't share them on my other pages as much, like her videos, simply because I don't want someone that could have a really good experience to listen and not be ready and feel like, how did you feel when you first listened to her stuff? Were you like, I kind of dig it, but it's kind of freaking weird. Like,
it's kind of weird.
What is she talking about? The vortex? Like,
what vortex?
What's a vortex? Like, are we drinking? Like, where's the bong? So I feel like with that stuff, people have to have their own experience. And encourage it. I try to encourage it in my clients, but if they're not ready and they don't understand, I kind of look at it like, and this doesn't have anything to do with feminine or masculine, but you know how women are categorized as like spaghetti thinkers and men are waffle box thinkers? Okay. I feel like everyone kind of starts in this box. And once they have this experience, they're a little more comfortable with letting everything just intertwine and work together.
Let go.
But you get clients that are in that box and they're like, I want you to help me. I want you to help me be better and fitter and eat better and think better. And I'm like, whoa, first of all, chill. You have to think better first. And I need you to forget about the rest. And they're like, wait, what? Where's my diet plan? And I'm like, that comes on week 6. Yeah. We're going to start with some coaching. Exactly. So I do some work with people on that type of thing. And
it starts with the mind.
They have to start there. And so as coaches, we have to be that same, we have to practice what we preach. And some days, like today is not a day where I woke up in the vortex. Like I need to go restart. And so being pregnant and dealing with this insane amount of hormones and emotions, plus being sick, plus feeling like, oh my God, I'm getting fat, because your body changes immediately. Like my stomach doesn't look pregnant right now. It just looks fat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's hard. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
stay in that good space. It's
Yes.
hard. I got to push the restart button sometimes, a couple times a day.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Nonstop. I got an alarm in my phone every hour where I check in with my emotions, because that's what it really is, right? It's our emotions that are driving our actions. And when you feel good emotions, yeah, you are on track. Do shit out of that. When you don't feel good, no, do not do anything. I mean, like, at least be aware of it. You first have to be aware of it. So tell me, okay, hopefully people may or may not be understanding this conversation, but the whole point is, when you feel good, obviously you're going to move well, you're going to eat well, you're going to love life, you're just going to be happier, and you're going to be able to go to the body you want, the vision you want, the life you want. You will create that, right? And likewise, if you don't feel good, you will create something completely different. So what are your ways for getting in the vortex, or putting yourself in a good feeling state, and then taking action out of that?
Yeah, of course. That's a great question. So first thing in the morning, right? Like anytime we study how to start off the day on the right foot, right? And we can use whatever cliche phrase we want. We all know what we're talking about here. It's not allowing those emotions, because really it's a revolving door. You go to bed with worries, concerns, and emotions, and you go to sleep and you wake up with them. And unless you break that cycle, then that stuff it's like a tumbleweed. It gets bigger, it's bigger, and before you know it, you've created a life out of the worries. The things you're worried about, they're happening because you're constantly focused on them. So how do we break that cycle? And the best way to do it is first thing in the morning, when you're very first conscious, right? Because that's the turning point. What are you going to think about? What are you going to do in the first 5 minutes of being awake? So what I like to do, I'm not a morning person, so this is different for everybody, right? You'll have people that are waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're like, I can't do a meditation. I just go back to sleep and then I'm late for work. So you have to create custom ideas and custom programs for these people to get into the right phase. And it's the same for us. We have to figure out, how am I going to benefit the most first thing in the morning from setting up my day? So what I do personally, I have to get up and pee because I can't meditate while I have to pee. So I get up, I pee, and then I lay back down, and I try really hard not to answer texts or emails or go on social media, because that will set you up in one direction, and it might not be a bad direction, but you're not caring for yourself at that point. You're caring in response to other people's requests. So you first need to take care of you. So what I do is I wake up, I have a little bit of water, and I set up a meditation, usually about 10 minutes long. I don't go any longer. If I go longer, I might fall asleep again, or I might get bored and start thinking about other things. So 10 minutes is like my morning meditation limit, unless I complete that 10-minute meditation and I'm like, we need to do another one. Because you catch yourself sometimes. And meditation, I try to explain to people, it's not as hocus pocus as you think. It's focusing on the breath. It's feeding yourself good thoughts, feeding yourself positivity, telling yourself what type of day you're going to have instead of allowing your day to tell you.
Right.
So a lot of what we do, being on social media and having these networks and whatever our jobs are right now, we are responding to other people, requests, comments. It's like, and it's easy.
Pinball machine.
Yeah. Right. And it's easy to allow the things going on out there to create what's here. And I am a very passionate, emotional person, and being pregnant, I mean, like, you better watch out. You say one wrong thing and I'm like popping off. And I try not to be that person, because it doesn't get you anywhere. Like, I don't want to create a social media following of negativity. I don't want to be telling people off all day. So if I get myself in a good place, I really just deflect it. Like, if you say something really inappropriate,
it doesn't bother you.
No, it doesn't bother me, but I'm also going to just block it, and I'm going to block you, and I'm going to delete it, because I'm not going to allow you to do that again. But I deal with confrontation differently. So I start with a meditation. I go in phases. Sometimes I do a little bit of journaling and goal setting. I jot things down that I want. I create a mantra. I do that with my team too. My Monate girls, we do what's called a power hour, and we create our own mantras and our own goals. And, but really for me, it's pushing the pause button first thing in the morning and not jumping up and starting my day too quickly.
Okay.
But if I struggle throughout the day, I do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I stop whatever I'm doing, no matter how important it is. I tell my kids know mommy's going to go meditate. Don't knock on my door. Don't be loud. You know, like I need 10 minutes of silence. So go read a book, go do something else. Don't interrupt me, because sometimes I really need it again and again.
Yeah. Yeah. Often.
But that's probably my favorite way is to get into a meditation, or even just 10 minutes of breathing and thinking about nothing.
Yep.
Completely
Very
just
cool.
wiping the slate clean.
I very much do the same thing. I do a 20-minute, I call it inner training, because it's like I'm focusing the mind in a particular way and training it to align with my goals and stuff. And then I like train my emotions, but it's basically a meditation. And then I do this weird ass energy work. If you see me on Instagram, it looks weird, but it's very meditation-y, you know, calming the nervous system, all that. But yeah,
Reiki,
it's huge.
like Reiki style. Do you do
It's
Reiki?
So it's the way that I have to prepare my body for Reiki, but it's not Reiki. It's a long process I'm going through to get certified, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
tag me. I'll go poke around, but tag me if like next time you post something, just tag me in the comments so I see it.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Cool. Yeah. No, it looks weird as shit. It looks super
it's okay.
weird.
I'm super into weird stuff.
Okay. Cool.
I'm very spiritual. I feel like it's just a part of who you are sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if it works and if it's bringing you joy and making life fun and easy, like all for it. I don't care how weird it looks.
Yeah, no, I've experimented with some different types of like, there's a lot of crazy meditations out, like yoga meditation type stuff with breathing and like movement. And there's a type of, I don't practice it regularly, but I've tried it before. Gabrielle Bernstein does it. It's like a very weird, she gets into these positions and like does these movements and has a breath thing that she does. And it's supposed to like help you kind of, shit. Sorry.
That's okay.
I knew he was gonna call.
It's fine.
Is my husband at lunch.
Yeah.
I'll call him back. But anyways, I'm completely open to all of that. I think why not experiment if it helps?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether people think of it or if it works for them, if it works for me. And it just gives you a few more tools, you know, in your toolbox for your clients. But at this point, what are you doing, like wellness coaching type stuff? Is that what you're doing, or is it more exercise based?
No, it's very much nutrition, but mindset. Mindset is the foundation. So everything that we're talking about here is the root of what I do. And I work with people who are like, are working out in the gym and they're kind of stuck in that cycle. They're doing everything right. They're eating well and their body doesn't change. So I just help, I help them get results, and it's super cool. But we start with mindset because that's really their problem. They think it's diet and exercise, but it's all mindset.
Right.
So
no, I'm with it.
And actually, with that, I wanted to ask, what does your diet look like today? Like, how do you manage staying fit and lean with not working out the way that you used to?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm lean, really. I don't have the lean body type. I'm like curvy, but
I think you're the sexy curvy lean.
Thank you. Since getting pregnant, I can't really base my response on since getting pregnant because I was so sick. I really ate like crackers and like anything carb based, which is not my typical diet. So I think my body's changed a little bit because of that, but I'm not as sick anymore and I'm ready to get back to what's normal. That's why like I'm trying not to be too hard on myself, but when you go from mostly primal type foods. So I used to have a sugar addiction. That was my main issue through my competitive years was I actually had clinical candida when I was 20, 21. Between my son and my daughter, I had candida to the point where I would crave carbohydrates so badly. Once I would eat them, I would crash. I mean, I'm talking like fall asleep on, like couldn't help it. And I went on kind of a primal diet to get rid of it, and it worked.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So as I began doing CrossFit, there were a lot of things promoted that probably weren't good for me personally, but instead of knowing what was good for me, I just jumped on the, remember paleo with all the red wine and the dark chocolate. So for me, I was eating paleo and doing zone, right, which worked really well. I right after my daughter, I looked great. 6 months later, I looked great, but I was doing CrossFit and I was doing paleo zone. But drinking a bottle of wine every night and eating a bar of chocolate instead of 2 squares. So I have this binge personality. I have a sugar issue, and these are my own personal things, and I'm completely transparent about them because I think if people will identify where their issues are, then they know this is my trigger. This is my trigger. So for me, it's binge eating, and binge eating triggers for me are when I don't eat enough and I eat super, super clean. I know the binge is coming. So instead of getting into a place of putting myself under so much pressure to weigh and measure and eat minimally, I eat to satisfaction, but I have done Whole30 probably 5 or 6 times. I absolutely love it. I love the flexibility of creating delicious food and not having to weigh and measure it, but knowing that everything I'm putting in my body is serving me. So I don't do well with dairy. I don't do well with sugar, and I have binge tendencies. So Whole30 was perfect because I was getting so much fat and so much food that I never really cared to binge, and it got rid of my candida completely. So I didn't start doing Whole30 though until I was done competing. So that was a kind of a really cool experience for me. So I love the dynamic of Whole30, Whole Foods. I was eating very much a bodybuilder diet when I was at my leanest. I had a coach that's one of the best in the business, but he coaches bodybuilders.
But
so
remember, I just want to make sure that probably during that point, if you're doing bodybuilding, there was not doing bodybuilding, but you were eating like that. That's where the binges were, right?
Oh yeah. What would happen was he would give me a day where I was allowed to eat a ton of carbs, but that just brought back the sugar addiction. Yeah. Because I was allowed to eat low fat carbs, but it didn't matter how much sugar was in it. So my cycle in my leanest days when I was like, the lightest I've ever been in my competitive adult life has been the high 140s, low 150s. And that was when I was like 11% body fat, which for me is not normal. I was taking in an insane amount of protein. A lot of it was shakes and eating kids cereal before and after workouts, stuff like that, to spike my insulin and all that. When I moved over to a more primal diet, I got rid of all the protein powders. I don't really use protein powders anymore. I'm not against them. I'm all for the high quality. I know they digest a lot quicker and it's great. I just didn't feel like I needed it anymore. And I got rid of that sugar addiction. So it gave me this like level of control. And through the process, my binging went away. Like I would have too much to drink on the weekends and eat too much cake or something, but it wasn't a daily thing anymore. It was like, I feel like I had control over what I was eating. And so I try now, I'm about 90-10 Whole30, I would say. I just try to go for the whole foods. I care more about dressings and sauces. A lot of people don't realize, like, well, I had a salad. They know the dressing is fattening, but they don't consider what's in the dressing. So the fat is not what we're so afraid of. It's like all the preservatives and the hydrogenated oils and the soy. And like, if you get rid of that stuff, then that gets to be your good fats. And you're also getting in your live nutrition. So it was just a whole shift of like caring more about ingredients and what can I take that's whole food and make something delicious out of it so that I feel satisfied and I don't have that desire to go back to the pantry and house a bunch of sweets. And it totally changed my life. I mean,
so even now, sugar out has been.
Yes. And I haven't completely eliminated it. If I feel like I really want something, I don't know if you've studied any of the Whole30 stuff, but they have this little chart and I've only glanced at it a couple times. I don't like promote it big time, but you go through this process of finding out if it's worth it. So let's say you're at your mom's or your friends and there's a birthday party and it's your favorite cake. Like in the whole world, it's your favorite cake. I'm okay with having a piece. Like, don't give me the biggest piece. And I'm going to make sure I'm drinking all my water that day. I'm going to make sure that I don't repeat with another piece of cake the next day. But it's like, we get wrapped up in the bullshit. Like around Christmas time, around Christmas time, it's everywhere. And do you really love those cookies you're eating, or are you just eating them because they're there? So for me, it's got to be a conscious decision. Like, is this delicious and I like really want it?
Right.
If so, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to give myself a substantial amount, but once what's on my plate is gone, I'm done. So you serve yourself a serving, you enjoy it, and then you cut ties. You're done. Go drink your water, go eat your decent dinner. So that's kind of my mentality now. And I don't shame any of my clients for eating badly sometimes, because it doesn't do any good. Every moment is a new moment. So even if you screw up, you can always restart 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So
learn.
That's kind of my mentality. I try to balance with a gallon of water a day if I am taking in foods that aren't great for me, because I really feel like that really flushes things. But yeah, I would say that's the gist of where I'm at with food.
Good. Awesome, dude. Well, let's go with the final question. So basically, actually, real quick, like let's just these are kind of fun. So what's your favorite low calorie treat?
Alcohol. I miss booze. I know there's like fit wines out there, so that qualifies, right? Like, I miss alcohol. I'm not like a heavy drinker, but I love like that end of the day glass of wine, that like beer at the beach. Like, I would say like that enjoyable like one drink.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
That's my thing.
Cool. Any particular drink?
No, I'm like multiple personalities with everything. It just depends on the moment. Like sometimes it's Budweiser, sometimes it's some expensive red wine, sometimes I'm drinking whiskey out of the bottle. You just never know.
Okay. Cool.
Not right now.
Right. And favorite like high cal treat. So
chocolate, anything chocolate. Brownies, cake, molten lava cake, like just the chocolatier, the better.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. And so the final question. So, the women that are going to be watching this are typically struggling with one of two things. They either find themselves on a constant roller coaster of going hard and then feeling burnout and, and then finding they're binging, right? They're on the diet, then off the diet. Or there's somebody that is just completely obsessive. Their life revolves around being in the gym. What workout am I doing? What are my macros? How many steps do I got to do? And like just a world of counting. What is your number one, like biggest piece of advice to being fit, looking fit, still staying fit while having freedom, with food?
So I would say first remove the goals. Kind of lift the goals. All those things that you thought you wanted, wipe them clean for now. Work on being okay with right where you're at. Stop trying to see yourself differently or worrying about what you're doing to yourself that's going to cause you to be worse or better or whatever. Remove the future expectations of anything and go inward and work on right where you're at, appreciating what your body is capable of right now. And I think from a place of appreciation and of being okay no matter where you are, it's a tumbleweed effect in a positive direction. And you really sometimes, everything is goal setting, future, everything is what's going to come, what's coming. We forget about right now. Like there's this right now that we're missing. And so if you learn to love and appreciate just your workout and your food today, then I find that it's so much easier to take on better habits because there's no pressure. The pressure is gone. Yeah. Like I don't care about the summer. I don't care about the cruise. Let's work on these issues that are going to cause me to fail in the future.
Right.
So in order to do that, you have to just kind of like, I like to lay down. This is a meditation that I do, and this is really helpful when you feel all these pressures, right? You lay down and you picture that you're standing on this platform and there's all this dust everywhere, dirt and dust, and you have a broom, and you're just going to go ahead, and around you is just this, it's nothing. You don't know what's down there. It's empty. And you're just going to take the broom and visualize sweeping everything off of your platform until you see this beautiful white stage. And then all of a sudden, everything around you turns into like the most beautiful scenery you've ever seen in your life. So yeah. I do that when I feel those pressures. I do. I like that mindset.
I like that too. Very good. Love it, girl. That has been awesome. That is exactly, I was really hoping to talk to somebody who's sort of made that same transition, or like the transition that you've made. Cause there's not that many people, I don't think, cause you don't really know what everybody's experiencing, but I can see and feel and tell that what you are going through is very much similar to like the way that I'm experiencing life. And it's unbelievable when you can just stop with the expectations and just start being okay with not going so hard and just living and being and appreciating everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I'm really excited
cool.
that I got to do this. I do think there isn't a lot. I mean, I told you when you reached out, like there's not a lot of people addressing what happens after.
Yeah.
Like what happens after you come out of that lifestyle. And I think it's neat. I think that regular CrossFitters really need to see what it's like to just live a normal life. And I think it's really beneficial for just anybody.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're never going to not be hardcore. Like you're always going to be a badass. That is not going anywhere. That is in you.
It's a part of you. It's a
now
part of who I am. I mean,
yeah,
I'm a badass
exactly.
in other ways now, like, but it might not be my barbell that makes me a badass, but it is who I am.
Dude, I think it's you're such a more badass now because you can, that's a hard transition to make, I mean, but it's so worth it. And you've been through it and now you can appreciate it so much more because you've been through the suffering, you've been through it all.
Right.
So,
and all of us are multifaceted and we can't be unifaceted, right? And I feel like people that get sucked into the fitness community hardcore, they decide that is who they are. And then if it's taken from them because of an injury or financial or whatever, they don't know who they are anymore. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you become multifaceted and allow the aspects of life that you are all the time to just be who you are, it's like I have so many different like fun hobbies and like new, like all these animals. I didn't have all this before, but it's because this is who I really am. But I'm still that workout badass, but I'm also fully who I am now.
Yeah. It's very cool, man.
So thanks for doing this.
Yeah. So where can people find you and anything else that you want to promote? So
yeah. So what I'm doing right now, I put most of my energy into my Instagram. It's just at Lauren Brooks Wellness. That is kind of my name and everything falls underneath that. I do some wellness coaching, but the majority of what I do now is help other people build their own small businesses and find their own financial freedom through Monat. So it's an incredible product. They do have skincare and stuff now too, but most of all, I feel like it's not just a product that sucks people into the idea of wellness. It really embodies the ingredients, the purity, and it also helps people, which is really cool because as wellness coaches, that's really all we want is to help people. And if I can help people feel better about themselves, look better, and create more income so that they're free more, awesome. Mission accomplished. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do have a Facebook business page. It's the same. It's at Lauren Brooks Wellness. So for those of people that are watching that don't have an Instagram, that's where I'm at.
And so you just have them reach out to you through Instagram or Facebook for the hair product, your other coaching business?
I do it a little different. On my Instagram, there's a link tree, but also if they just send me a DM, I do free consultations. I'm happy to talk to people. I don't ever just sell people product. I want to have a conversation with them. I want to look at their hair. I want to hear about what they want to change. And then I make recommendations based on that. We have a really great return policy, so I'm not worried, but I like to be a part of the people getting the right products so that they have the best experience right away. But yeah, most people get a hold of me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. I'm on there all day long.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, I'll probably hit you up because I do not do anything with my hair. I'm pretty hard on it. So I'll be reaching out to you for sure.
We have really bomb stuff for blondes. Like
Cool.
I can't go blonde because my hair would all fall out because it's fine and brown, but we have the best products for people that bleach because you can keep the quality of your hair still while bleaching, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I need that for sure. Awesome, Lauren. Well, it has been awesome. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll keep you posted when the video comes out, and for the rest of you guys watching, we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you. I'm excited. Bye, Natalie.
See ya, girl. Bye.